Welcome to the Not Needed Info podcast with Charlie and Jake. All these different shapes.
Yeah,
and they all seem to look...
Give me 1 second.
They all seem to look very, very similar. Obviously in their own way.
Have you seen that, did you see that picture I sent you?
Yeah, that Mercedes looks insane, doesn't it?
It's called Project 1.
Okay.
And it is... I mean, it's mental.
Yeah, it looks... like Mercedes is just like, we have a project, we're gonna do it.
It's not going to be produced in 2019.
That's not...
it's a hybrid.
Yeah, the way... Yeah, most...
It's, but here we go, ready?
Yeah.
It's a 1.6 litre Mercedes-Benz engine.
That's not big.
And a hybrid turbocharged 90-degree V6. I think the 1.6 litre, it might be the... I don't know what... Yeah. Power output, this is at least...
Yeah.
986 horsepower.
What, dude? 9...
It's got an 8-speed transmission.
Wasn't the first Bugatti only like 1,003 horsepower?
1,001, I think it was. It's got an 8-speed gearbox.
Jesus Christ.
It's got one battery for motors.
Yeah.
One 161 horsepower motor.
Yeah.
One 121 horsepower turbocharger. And two front-wheel driving 161 horsepower motors. It's got 25. It's got 16-mile range on electricity. Which isn't that bad for a car like that. That's not bad.
But for a car that's not designed to run on purely electric.
No, that's designed to guzzle petrol faster than
yeah.
I don't know, a fish.
Fish.
Very dead fish.
Very dead fish.
Mental. I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
ticks all the boxes, doesn't it?
That's where, like, when I watched that Top Gear episode with the McLaren P1, I fell in love instantly.
P1.
Because
man.
it can do everything and anything you want other than carry more than two people. Because any sports car...
I'd wager it was struggling to drive through, though.
Yeah, because it's like as low as, a bloody toddler is.
As low as a toddler. Got a new unit of measurement. A toddler.
Hell yeah. It's the SI unit of height of a car.
What?
No, white noise. Play a white noise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going to play a white noise.
I can't hear anything.
I presume it must be your mic.
No, it might be.
I know. Oh, there we go.
Sorted it?
Yeah, that's sorted now. Okay.
All I did was tap it.
It could be anything. But yeah, back onto like the new Renault that, as you say, has that level 4 autonomous. One that is scary.
It's a bit mental, I think.
Yeah, that's scary. Like he was like saying, like he could turn and talk to the passengers in the back, and this car would slow down if someone's overtaking it. It would know when to change lane.
That's the difference. It was the way it was done in the Tesla was it would follow the car in front.
Yeah.
This one doesn't.
Latch on.
This one just doesn't.
No, this one does.
It basically looks for itself.
Yeah. Whereas Sam, Sam's car has the same sort of thing. Like he can.
It's like cruise control system in his car, isn't it?
No, he uses, it's called like a laser feature, and he just latches onto the car in front, and all he has to do is turn. Whereas obviously with the Tesla, it does that.
For you,
It does that as well. But all he has to do is steer, and the car slows down, speed ups when the car in front does it. He just has to set that a distance.
I think Mercedes did that with an early it was an early form of cruise control.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was Audi that did it, because I remember Top Gear reported.
I remember seeing it on Top Gear with Mercedes, definitely with Mercedes doing it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
And it was like it would brake for you and that kind of stuff.
Well, Sam's car was 15, so it's not brand new. It's
this was an early car as well.
Yeah, exactly. I am seeing, but I have to say, like all these concept cars, great ideas. The only people that seem to have given us a concept car that looks like the concept car they originally designed is BMW with the i8.
Oh yeah.
The i8 is the only car that seems to look futuristic compared to any other car on the market.
It is good. It is a look at that car.
Yeah, the i8 is.
I know what you're going to say.
The i8, beautiful car, but the i3 is the worst looking car ever. I mean, in the last 10 years, last 10 years with new cars, that by far has to be one of the ugliest cars I've seen. I reckon like the technology behind it is phenomenal. I've seen a few parked up, and the interior looks beautiful.
I wouldn't drive one.
No, but they just cut like half of the i8 and squashed it
Like
together.
and make it, well, awful.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it doesn't, because it's just it just
Lacking.
yes, this is like no. A bit like when they tried extending cars to make them.
BMW have made some fantastic.
Most cars BMW make are absolutely.
The old M3s, M5s.
Oh, they're
The
phenomenal
M6s,
cars.
M5s. Lovely cars.
I like the Q. Was it the Qs? No, the X's even. The X series.
The big 4x4s.
Yeah, the big 4x, like they all look phenomenal, and even for like a 4x4 saloon sporty kind of vehicle, they're all lovely. But
I'm still not sure I accept the fact that I drive one.
I drive in the X5. The X5's quite nice. I prefer the X5.
I wouldn't mind an old M3 or something.
The X6. The X6 is a nice one.
I mean, if you need a car that big, then yeah, because they are massive cars.
They are. I prefer an M4. I've seen the M3s.
M4s are nice. I'm thinking more old M3s though, like
Oh, okay, the older school M3.
an M3. What's it called? E46. An E46 M3. It's a nice car.
I don't know enough about old cars. Newer cars, I'm a bit better on.
Oh mate, you'd recognise an M3 E46.
I probably recognise the look of it, but I doubt I could just pick one out with the name
In a crowd.
on the top of my head. But most current cars, I could probably pick out.
Yeah.
But like
So the funniest thing I find is like when it comes to cars, you walk down the street and you hear a noise and that's a Subaru. People who can do that. I can do that.
I
That's
can
just
tell
great.
with certain. There's certain, but a lot of like the cars I know are like the bog standard vehicles that most people would probably could see in a crowd. But
Yeah. How's your car these days?
it's really comfortable. The fuel seem to be lacking on fuel efficiency.
That's your driving.
Yeah, I mean my average fuel efficiency is 37 miles to a gallon.
That's about what I get. And my car's, 14 years? No, 15 years old.
Yeah, mine's 2 months old.
And you've got a smaller engine.
I've got a 0.9.
A lighter car.
Boys. Lighter car, more economical engine
Yeah.
by standard. But my average miles per hour is 19.8, and I'm very confused at why it's so low.
Well, it's because if you do 70 miles an hour for an hour, and then you do like 50 miles an hour for an hour, your average is only going to be 60 miles an hour.
I feel you.
Because it works out the mean average. So
I understand.
It's like when you do like the average speed checks. If you do half a mile at 30 mile an hour or 35, you then got to do half a mile an hour at 25, so it averages out. So mine's always in the 20s. I'm thinking, really? I don't drive that slowly.
No, you
I do
definitely
now. I'm a
don't.
good boy. I'm a good boy. Didn't get a letter. Didn't get a letter. Shut up.
No,
Shut up.
of course you didn't. But the reoccurring thing with all these concept cars is they are electric. And now electricity was a good idea.
I still wouldn't buy one.
And I say idea loosely. Well, I say it was an idea. And
it was Tesla's idea.
Well, no, because electric cars have been a thing for like a while, like the hybrid
Prius
electric.
and
Yeah, but Tesla were the only company to sort of properly do it well.
I think my problem is that I've got too much temptation to just go and unplug someone's car.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They still can't get you the miles that a petrol or diesel can
Well,
get.
it's more a problem of not having the filling stations.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I've seen. There's one in Chai.
Yeah.
There's
I've
one.
not seen the others. I don't know the place. I don't see them. And you have? I've seen one in Guildford.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few Tesla's filling stations up near London, but that's it.
Yeah.
And they're like designated Tesla filling stations because Tesla actually understand that there need to be more filling stations.
Yeah, it's like when they had what was it? You can convert some cars to autogas.
Yeah.
There's no filling stations.
No, exactly.
Which is a shame because autogas, when I think petrol was like 1.17 a litre, autogas was 60p a litre.
Oh really?
Yeah. My dad's old Land Rover used to run on it.
Huh.
Brilliant. But the problem is, if you're running on that, you've got to find autogas
it.
filling stations. There's one on the way out on the A27. There's one at Shell, I think it is.
Oh really?
I think it's there. It might be somewhere else. But other than that,
I never heard of it before.
no. Well, there you go. Exactly.
But you know, going electric, you know, they say, you know, greener, but it's not. It's really not a greener solution for.
Well, I mean, it's greener as a car or something. Electricity still to be produced by something, and it's still to be produced by fossil fuels.
Exactly. You know, an electric car, good for the car.
For the environment. The car's good for the environment.
The car's good for the environment, but the lithium-ion battery that's, you know, plugged in there has to be disposed of some way, has to be mined out some way.
It also has to be, I mean, making lithium ion on the batteries in the first place is so dangerous.
Yeah, all Tesla's just built their brand new factory in the middle of the Nevada desert in case anything goes wrong with building their batteries.
I mean, I appreciate that, to be honest.
You know.
That's a smart move.
Exactly, you know, they thought through, you know, crap. These are
dangerous.
Very dangerous items.
Yeah.
We want to mass produce these on the biggest scale we possibly can. We need to do it safely, otherwise, if it goes wrong,
kaboom! And hello Chernobyl.
Yeah, literally. You know, you'd have the same issue. I was on Twitter the other day. And
shock horror.
No, I was on Reddit, and
Oh yeah.
There's a Tesla fan account that's called like Tesla Motors. Obviously, Tesla don't have their own Reddit account.
I mean, they might do. But yeah, don't.
But and apparently Tesla had output it either by Twitter or something that nuclear energy is the best way they can get electricity into their batteries, and obviously it's the most efficient and economical way of getting electricity because the only byproduct is the leftover uranium cores, which aren't dangerous once they're used, or as dangerous once they're used. They still have that a bit of radiation, but it's not that harmless. They just, they've got to bury it for a few hundred years to let the rest of it.
This is the interesting thing because this is the problem we have with Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot of uranium left in reactor number 4.
Yeah.
4. I think it was. I'd have to check that.
I think it's 4.
There's still uranium left there. And the problem with uranium is it has a half-life. And then so let's say it's got a half-life of 100 years, yeah?
Yeah.
In 100 years, half of that uranium will have irradiated itself and be gone.
Yeah.
But then the leftover piece has the same half-life. So then that piece takes another 100 years. If you've got half left after that, and it's a never-ending process.
Exactly. And that's the I think when I was at college, obviously we're doing electrical, and we were learning about some sort of base level nuclear stuff, and they were saying that all our nuclear rods we bought from China, used them, sold them back to China as scrap.
Doesn't surprise me, so.
They then, I can't remember what my college tutor said they did with them, but they basically almost re-radiated them and then sold them back to us.
Wouldn't surprise me.
And it's fair enough, China, you go for it.
Shit like that does not surprise me at all.
Geniuses, if I'm honest. Well, they're one of the only countries that have gone almost fully
nuclear
and solar power. Yeah. They're the greenest.
Well, the thing is, there's not much in the way of there's not much of a downside to nuclear.
The only downside to nuclear is Chernobyl.
That's a good point.
That's one of the only reasons, and obviously the cost of building a nuclear power plant
is very high.
Ridiculously expensive. But
I mean, the only reason you say that Chernobyl's a downside, the only reason Chernobyl happened was because I don't know if you've read up on it. I read up on it a while ago.
I did. Yeah, we did it in college a few years ago.
And It was careless. It was, well,
It was,
I don't want to disrespect the dead. It wasn't carelessness, but things that should have happened or should have been on were turned off for a test.
Happened how many years ago?
Well, I think was it the 80s?
Yeah,
70s?
You're talking today's technology that, will check this stuff.
Well, they had that technology, but it was all turned off. They turned it off for they were testing reactor 4, I think it was.
Yeah.
And what happened was it overheated, and they didn't have their fire prevention stuff on. They wanted to test for cause.
Yeah, exactly.
You can obviously see what happened.
And now today they have so many more fallouts for those things. Even if something careless did happen, they still have the fallout that would protect it.
Yeah.
And I think because of things like Chernobyl and there's been a few reactor meltdowns in England actually. We would talk about. Only a few. They built this power plant. Several £1 million power plant, and then when they were testing, they had a reactor meltdown. It didn't cause huge amounts of damage like Chernobyl did, but then it just got abandoned because they had this issue.
Do with it, to be honest.
And the funnels still stand and whatnot.
Yeah.
But because of some issue, no, I think actually I'm wrong. What happened was they cheaped out because they spent so much on building it. They cheaped out on a lot of the technology and the processes they had to go through. Because they wanted to get the power so quickly to earn back the money that they had the issues.
With all this is that big companies rush it then.
Yeah, and it's so expensive that a lot of people don't want to get into it. A lot of the big power companies that could easily, like SSE, could easily, build, I don't know, 30 nuclear power plants all over Britain, and they could power Britain, but because they'd earn less money doing that, they're not going to do it because it would be such an efficient way of getting electricity.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a big issue because there's nothing stopping us doing it apart from those factors. They're big factors. It would cost several £several million to build a nuclear power plant.
Expensive.
But the return on those things would be almost infinite.
It's getting that return quickly.
Yeah, which they don't.
You've got to pay for the people that work there, and they take time to pay themselves off.
Yeah, they do, but you're also, reducing that damage to environment. So,
This horsepower is hydroelectric, like big dams and stuff.
Yeah, those are good, but then you've got to find dams, and that's the issue.
You need a
large body of water that has that downward force to create them.
Actually, it's interesting. I've not how I thought it worked. The dam doesn't create power, but it's differentiation.
Yeah.
Between the levels of water.
Oh, I see.
So the greater distance between the top level of water compared to the floor of a dam gives you your power output.
Yeah, I feel you.
And obviously, it was probably a bit more complicated than that, but
yeah, when I did the old green energy stuff at college in level 1, what they did was they had like a little sort of reservoir at the top when I was at this science exhibit place. At the top of this mountain, it was that's like a hill. It wasn't that high up.
Yeah.
But I reckon 100, 200 feet. So really it's quite high when you think about it, but not high as compared to some reservoirs out there that are ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And this thing, they didn't have it on all the time because the reservoir needed filling up because it was such a small body of water.
Yeah.
But just the pressure from that would turn a generator for enough time that they could power their site for 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
It was insanity. And the way they do it is they have these turbine type style things, and as the water comes down, they slowly pressurize it and fan it into the turbine. It's quite a cool method.
It spins a turbine, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not just a jet of water that hits these like the old flour mills used to be with like streams.
Yeah.
Where it would just like fall onto the wheel and turn it. They have the water come down, like spin around, get pressurized, like they make it smaller and smaller tube, and they have these like fan effects, a bit like on a turbo, I think, maybe. I don't know.
So basically, it's compressed. The water is compressed and pushed through these turbines. It spins the
turbines,
internal mechanisms. Yeah.
But because they pressurize it higher, it spins it faster.
Yeah, it's basically like a jet engine.
Yeah, where it compresses the air.
The air is compressed, and then that way, with each cycle, it's compressed, and that way you get higher pressures inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Faster air out. So yeah.
But green energy is something we can do, but I think is something we're a bit.
I think it needs some development.
It needs the input, which we're trying to do, but I think people aren't as worried as they should be about the lack of fossil fuels and what they're doing.
Well, see, you say that. I don't know if I should say this live or not, or whatever, but my uncle.
Yeah.
He works on an oil rig.
Yeah.
Off of, I think it's Malaysia.
Yeah, Malaysia.
And I can quote him as saying, fossil fuel will not run out in our kids' lifetime. That's my children's lifetime.
Yeah, your children's lifetime.
Oil won't run out. That's what he said.
Yeah, I think it...
Because they're finding the oil all the time.
Yeah, I think they're the maths geeks behind it all are like, the amount we're using is too much. We must be running out. But instead of saying it like that, they're like, we are running out. We need to go green.
Yeah, it's a whole... it's the same as putting a water meter on a house. Hopefully that the residents will go green and use less water.
Yeah, they'll look at it and be like, crap, we're using a lot more water than we thought we were. Let's,
It's a scare tactic.
Oh, yeah, and it seems governments like a good scare tactic.
Oh, they always have a good scare tactic.
But we were learning, obviously, about electricity and about Nikola Tesla. The genius he was.
Oh, yeah.
Utter genius. Created AC, made life what it is today.
Created AC, I'd say.
He found AC, he found AC and allowed us to use AC, put it that way. Mm. Did you know how he won people over? Because obviously Edison...
No, I don't know much about him, to be honest.
Well, Edison and him had a big feud.
Yeah, I know they are, yeah. I know who Thomas Edison is. He
did DC. And what Edison did, because he wanted DC to be, the main electricity source we used everywhere.
Which nowadays, it isn't, is it?
No, because we carry it with AC, but then we put DC through our sockets, and that's how we put DC into our plugs, 240 volts.
Yeah, I know the voltage. I couldn't remember if it was AC or DC.
Yeah, we carry it through AC. Shout outs. And yeah, so what? What's his name? I just had his name.
Tesla.
Not Tesla, the other one.
Edison
did was to show that AC was super dangerous because it is the one that kills compared to DC.
They both kill.
They both kill, but AC is a lot more. It will kill you a lot quicker than a DC will.
DC is actually probably the worst one. Because DC causes muscle contraction.
Yeah, but AC stops you. AC fries you.
Completely. All electricity will fry you. But I mean, problem
AC
with DC
fries you at a lower voltage than DC does. DC, I think in DC you can stop your heart, but AC fries you. That's the difference.
Probably the problem with AC, like you can, because I don't know if you have been, but I have been shocked. I've been shocked with blood sucker before.
I've been shocked.
Obviously, the instinct is to put your hand away. Yeah.
Yeah.
If, for example, you touch a live wire with DC, it causes muscle contraction. You can't let go.
You hold it.
Yeah, and that's what kills you. And it's nasty.
But what Edison did was, in the middle of this racetrack in 1800s, I want to say, late 1800s, lined up a horse, camel, elephant, bunch of these animals, run AC cabling through the floor, flicked a switch and fried them in front of these audiences and said,
Nice.
no, we want to convert it to DC. It's a safer method. But then, what Tesla did was...
We did the same.
Well, no, he sneakily wired up Broadway with AC completely. And without anyone realising, this is a fact, no one realised apart from the people he paid to do it. Then one night, all the gas lamps went out that's currently lit Broadway. He flicked one switch, whole thing lit up. And that's why people use it, and that's why people convert it to AC. And do you know how many DC generating factories it would take to power London? Just London.
I do not.
5,600. Because you can only carry DC 1 mile over a power line. That's as far as it can travel. But AC can travel, miles and miles without depleting. And that's why we put DC in the plugs, but we have AC travelling, because we then step it down and put it through.
Put it
through
out
our we filter out we filter out the negative. We filter out the negative. So it was pretty interesting. But back onto Tesla. According to my ex-Navy tutor, there's a conspiracy theory about all of Tesla's works. Because all of his work...
Conspiracy theory.
Gotta love a good conspiracy theory, but Tesla's works, he developed Wi-Fi in, early 1900s. He developed the idea of Wi-Fi back then.
Wireless communication.
Wireless communication. Not internet Wi-Fi, but wireless communication.
The idea of being able to send a signal without a cable.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just using magnetism, which I can get onto at a later date. But all of his research, when he died, disappeared. The family never saw it. And it wasn't until a few years ago they fought in court against the FBI, who took his work, for it. And in court, again, this is a theory, I'm not, stating this is a fact. For a theory, in the theory, they apparently in court, they were saying, we want his works. We don't want to sell them. We want his works to put in the museum in Poland? Or wherever Tesla's from. Can't remember.
I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know.
Wherever his museum is, I'm not...
His ethnicity, should we say.
Yeah. And that's all they wanted to do. And the FBI said, no, you want to patent his drawings.
Patent it, yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
But they'd been denying the fact they existed prior to this. So they completely screwed themselves, and I think they won the case and have his God knows how many drawings, and he owns the patent to AC.
Yeah, I mean that's quite a patent to own.
And hence, that's the theory that the FBI hid it because all the big electricity company guys wanted to keep AC for themselves and bill us millions.
Big corporations. Yeah, I'm just thinking. I quite like the idea how we managed to go from concept cars to AC and Nikola Tesla.
Why not? Why? Easy beans. And, but there was another thing that in his drawings they are currently developing. My tutor had seen this, and it is you getting, well, I say free electricity. Basically, the way lightning works, the electrons from Earth go up to the static ones in the clouds, and they arc.
It creates a current, yes.
And they arc.
And you get.
And the same. Yes. And what he developed was a just a coil
Mm.
that can charge enough, and it can create lightning.
You mean a Tesla coil?
Yeah, Tesla coil, but it can create lightning through the clouds. And what it does is it takes that electricity from the lightning and stores it, makes it electricity. And it's in Canada. This is what my tutor said. Completely, he saw this with his own eyes. He visited this hidden facility. He went on the undocumented Navy ship once a month with supplies to this base in Canada.
Mm.
And he saw them working on it. And this thing is on no records that is available to the public.
Well, you should probably not talk about it then.
I don't care. I'm going to get fucking a knock at my door,
Knock at
lights
your door.
out, never to be seen again.
I find my dreams come true that easily.
Banter. And yeah, so, you know, nice bit of history from good old Poulage.
Poulage,
We're back
yeah.
onto vehicles, considering
Yeah.
we got a bit sidetracked.
Yeah, we digressed a little bit.
We
there.
did digress, but, you know, digressing's a part of fun, I say.
Yeah.
And as I was looking up these, you know, vehicles, as, you know, new vehicles, concepts, I came across a new Hover Coupe.
Hover.
Hover Coupe.
Hover coupe. Alright, okay.
It's a two-person futuristic vehicle, measures 4,500 millimeters.
That's 45 centimeters.
That's 4.5 meters. No,
That's
45.
4.5 meters.
Yeah, it's 4,500 millimeters. So 4.5
I'm with you.
meters.
Yeah.
In length, I don't know what it's in millimeters.
My math was off.
Making it similar to a compact car for scale. The Hover Coupe turns by releasing
There are
air.
flashing lights and hover on a little disc.
It does, yeah.
Little space invaders come out of it.
Hell yeah. Inside it's turbine. Coupe turns by releasing air inside its turbines.
Does it just use like conventional lift with air?
I think so.
Kind of driven or
While the position,
jet-based.
jet engines. While the position of the jet engines also gives it a drone-like maneuverability.
it's basically like a mini Harrier.
Kind of.
And so show me this thing.
Let me try and find it. It's this one here. I'll send you a link. Let me send you it over Skype. Yeah, it uses jet engines to fly. It has 4 jet engines, but it's the size of a regular car, and that's what they're going for.
Design. Let's see this.
The stabilizing the car is.
Lazarini's Hover Coupe. Oh my god.
Yep. The Italian studio has fitted it with adjustable flaps below the chassis.
Video.
According to the studio, these jets could allow the Hover Coupe to reach speeds exceeding 550 kilometers an hour, 342 miles per hour. Seems a bit unsafe.
It's a nice theory.
Like all flying cars found in science fiction films, this design exercise will most certainly never make reality and will remain only a concept phase. Still,
Yeah.
what are they called? Lazzarini. Renderings can serve to inspire manufacturers' designs and take greater risks to design truly dramatic and mesmerizing modes of transport.
It's a nice
It's a
thought.
good concept, but
I'd say
it's not even a concept because you couldn't
thought.
build it.
you could,
You could, but it would
but
cost.
there's nowhere to have any sort of fuel on it.
There's
The
no
jet engines
fuel.
don't just run on air; they need fuel.
They need fuel.
And also, if those it looked like they don't look like there's any sort of movement in these nacelles, which means there's no way to vector the thrust.
well,
You're not going forward in that thing. It's just go straight up and down.
you never. They could internally move. You never know. They could. They could have an internal movement. Hence, there's such a thick outer shell. Maybe I'm just speculating.
Plus, that is a
Possibility.
very small jet engine.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're the size of a
Yeah.
wheel, basically.
Yeah.
They just flicked a wheel on the side and putting
I feel
it.
like if I got in that thing with 2 million McDonald's and they just wouldn't lift off the ground.
But I say yeah, well, if I got in it, it wouldn't lift off the ground, or one half would and the other half wouldn't.
I mean, it's a nice, it is a nice idea.
And that's the
but
thing.
There's so many.
Yeah,
There's a reason that aircraft are built the way they are.
Yeah, there's a reason aircraft have the seats in the middle.
Yes,
Like a
have
car,
wings.
Well, like
There's
a
a reason
car,
that aircraft have wings. There's a reason
yeah,
that
for stability and
they are large. They need room for fuel.
They need room for fuel. They need room.
You
for
didn't get to a shop in that
engine.
thing and have to drag it home.
Yeah, exactly, and you know,
That's a nice idea. It's a
it's
nice
a nice
idea.
idea. But I was thinking the other day about the possibility of a hover vehicle, let's say.
Mm.
And I was, thinking, basically, why don't you just make a drone big?
It's going to be massive.
To lift you, yes. And I was, if
Have you seen? Have you seen the size of how big like things like the old kind of Spitfires and?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
massive.
the engines needed to generate the power to create the lift.
They needed to lift people and the engine itself.
Yeah.
And the old Rolls Royces that were in the Spitfires were so
Merlin
bloody heavy. Merlin was so
Yeah, but
bloody heavy that
Those Spitfires made upwards of 1,000 horsepower. I mean, I might be wrong there, but I know Typhoons at least made over 1,000 horsepower.
Exactly.
With their Napier engines. It's a lot of power needed to lift. Plus, you've got to imagine how much metal is going to be needed. Because you can't build it out of plastic. It's not strong enough.
No, yeah, and it doesn't. The higher you get, the more heat, friction from the air, and God knows what.
Imagine the higher you get,
The less air there is.
The thinner the air gets, so it becomes
Less friction.
more difficult for effective combustion.
Yeah, because
But I mean, in theory, drones run off electricity anyway. But then you've got to figure out
drones
charge.
only lifting maybe 100 grams. I don't, whatever,
Yeah.
500 grams, whatever
I think
they weigh.
the biggest. Oh, hang on. I'm putting my headphones. Bugger. Professional as hell. There we go.
But yeah,
I think the biggest problem with this design, this style, and this idea is that it's all very well. Oh, we don't have the traffic, and then suddenly 1,000 feet up. Oh, there's loads of traffic. Let's go back to the road.
Yeah, and you can't just fly in the middle.
You can't just fly.
No.
You have to have pilots. Like you have to obey a lot. It's much exactly. Obey airspaces, and it's a lot more involved than and it wouldn't be as simple as you can't just turn your key in a jet engine.
You can't just, I'm gonna put my thrusters on today, bun it. Let's go.
You can't do that.
No.
You can't do that.
It's not like the DeLorean that just lifts up casually.
Yeah.
But
I like the design.
it's a good design.
From a design point from a visual point of view, I think it's quite nice.
It's a
Gull wing
sleek,
doors, and it looks like someone squashed a BMW in the front.
yeah, it's a sleek, nice design that
It needs more work.
it would never become a reality. There was one I saw that had proper
I don't know if these are ever become reality.
propellers. But
They were designed these back in the 50s and the 60s, and someone that says, "Oh, let's make an actual flying saucer," and it didn't work because they can't generate enough lift.
No, exactly. Ouch.
Because it takes so much power to get someone off the ground.
And they defy the laws of aerospace that we currently use. To take off, you need upthrust, and then you need to be able to move. And if
you need to be able to maintain that, and if you're moving forwards at speed, you need to generate lift.
Exactly.
Which is why aircraft have wings.
And you can't just have a flying saucer. Where do you put?
Oh yeah, the aerodynamics of it are a nightmare.
Yeah. And I was thinking, say I was like drone. They all have the old gyroscopes, so if there's wind, they correct themselves.
Yeah.
They always want to be flat. But you put, say a book on one half, or whatever, that slightly outweighs it, it's still not going to be able to correct itself enough.
No, a drone won't be able to. That's it's called trim. That's actually a thing for that. When you see, for example, aircraft in war zones, they might fire off something on a store that's on the left wing, for example, without the right wing's heavier.
Yeah.
And also, the faster you go, the more lift you generate. So the whole time, the pilot has to trim out. It's called trimming out the aircraft. So let's say you've accelerated, your nose is going to start pulling up. So you trim your nose down. So that way, when you release the control stick, it returns to a position where the plane's balanced.
Oh, fair enough. I didn't know that. How interesting.
There you go. It's like driving. I've got my one.
Yeah.
When you start it up and it starts flying forward,
Mm-hmm.
you trim it back. That's what it's called, trimming it back, so it sits level.
Oh, I saw you. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It's obviously much more relevant in big aircraft that unbalanced, if they're unbalanced or if they're generating more lift or whatever.
Yeah. But then something like that, like if I got in one side, you know, it'd have to put so much more power on the side I was sitting that as soon as I, slightly shifted my weight, it completely just wouldn't work because there'd have to be so much going on into like the brain of the car.
Yeah, there is a reason that planes are as big as they are.
Exactly. Even like luxury private jets are still beefy.
They're big, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And there's a reason all planes are designed
like Cessnas.
the same way. They all have the same. They have wings. They have.
Yeah, there are certain rules.
Yeah.
There's
rules of aviation, and every plane follows them.
Well, basic plane design states that you need to have your centre of thrust.
Exactly.
In relation to
there's helicopters.
Your centre of thrust has to be, along your x-axis, or your z-axis, and your centre of lift has to be in front of. Was it in front of or behind? No, behind your centre of mass. Yeah. Otherwise, your plane will just go up and up and up and just do loops and crash.
Yeah. Where helicopters work on up thrust and then they tilt the plane.
Yeah, so basically what happens there is it's like when a plane flies forward, the shape of the wing gives it lift.
Yeah.
In a helicopter,
it's just that propeller.
The blades are like that, but they're tilted.
Yeah, exactly.
Forward. That's
and
why
then they have the old...
forward and it loses altitude and it does it.
And that's why they have the two don't they have the two propellers to counteract the spinning motion. I remember hearing something.
Helicopters have this, and it's the reason they have the two blades is when it's hovering, the first set of rotors, so they spin clockwise, will provide a clockwise torque. So then you set the top set to provide spin counterclockwise or anti-clockwise to provide anti-clockwise torque. It's the same with you don't have a Harrier to take up and down.
Yeah.
Well, in its engine, so there's different stages to an aircraft's jet engine.
Of course, yeah.
Press the air. And each stage counter rotates.
Oh, I see.
So the first one goes clockwise, then goes anti-clockwise, then goes clockwise, anti-clockwise. Otherwise, what was hovering, VTOLing, it would torque itself over, basically.
Yeah. It's pretty insane how it all goes
pretty
down.
Clever.
Oh, yeah. Beyond my intelligence, to be perfectly honest. A lot of things are beyond my intelligence.
Yeah.
I can deal with the basics that most
you can deal with basics. McDonald's say the menu.
I don't even apply to the McDonald's stay in the menu, bro. Snack boxes from KFC. Get it right if you're going to insult me.
Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't say that.
Did you? I thought you just said. I thought you just said snack box.
Topping.
Rip. R.I.P. Jake. And like you say with flying vehicles, there's a town somewhere in America. There's a. You're really quiet, by the way.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Don't just stop. There's a town over in America that all has planes. Like the entire town, they have plane garages rather than actual garages. And
hangars.
Hangars, whatever. Which is pretty cool. And then there's a car plane, isn't there, that has like the.
We've been trying to do that for years.
Well, it has like the wings attached to like a trailer in the back.
It's like there's a quad bike and the wing walls fold in and it becomes a boat.
Yeah. Those things are dope.
That's quite cool.
Those things. Well, they've made the old water cars for years as well that just go into the water.
Amphibious vehicles that just never worked.
Top Gear amphibious vehicle episode, bruh.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Feats of engineering. Those are feats of engineering.
Feats of falling in the water and drowning,
and getting some form of disease from what they were in.
Yeah.
It's the way Jeremy's Toyota made it to France. He made
did.
it to France in a Toyota Hilux with barrels on the side.
And then he managed to kill the unkillable car.
He did, yeah, because it wouldn't start, would it?
No.
He managed to, because he flipped it in the pond the first time they did it, and it still worked.
Yeah, he
But
killed the unkillable car.
He did. Madness. His one claim to fame.
I'm pretty sure Jeremy Clarkson's got more than one claim to fame.
Oh, he's got too many claims to fame. They're not always good claims to fame, but...
Punching Piers Morgan, that's a good claim to fame.
I suppose.
Oh, really? I'm not going to know my opinions on Piers Morgan, but I would like to have been there.
I've not really had an opinion on Piers Morgan.
You haven't lived.
I've never had anything. I've looked at on the media. I've never seen his name. To be honest, I've seen it occasionally, browsing through Facebook. On Facebook.
Yeah, he's normally portrayed as a bit of an arsehole.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
But you know, it is.
Chuno.
But no. Moving on to the next topic that I wanted to chat about.
Ooh. You are spoiling me today.
I am. You need to come up with some for next week's or next episode. Famting.
God, you said Famting.
There's a few. I'm looking at my reliable source, as it were. Just around the website. There's loads of new games coming out in 2018. None of which, like the first 7, I have no idea what they are.
What are they? What are we called?
The first one on the website is called. If my computer was still lagging. Well, there's the Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Dragon Ball.
I've never been a Dragon Ball Z fan, to be perfectly honest. I watched the live action film of it, which was garbage. Ages ago.
I never really played Dragon Ball games.
It was never something I was into growing up. There's Dynasty Warriors 9. Dynasty Warriors 9. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Metal Gear Survive. I presume that's Metal Gear Solid's next game.
I never played Metal Gear Solid either, really. No, you did.
I've heard they're really good games. I know Daniel's played a few of them, and they're fantastic games, from what I'm told. A Way Out looks like a good game because that's the multiplayer game that your actions depend on the future of the game, and it's a co-op only game.
That sounds pretty good.
It says, and now you can experience your very own Shawshank Redemption courtesy of A Way Out, a co-op only jailbreak story written and directed by the mind behind the action puzzle adventure Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Whether you're playing with a partner on the couch or online, A Way Out is always played in split-screen co-op mode. As inmates cool. Leo and Vincent
this sounds quite cool.
Begrudgingly work together to bust out of prison and reclaim their freedom. The persistent split-screen presentation creates some intriguing opportunities for teamwork. For instance, one player might be locked in a cutscene while the other can freely move about.
That's quite cool.
That's a lot of multiplayer games, just both in a cutscene, and it really annoys me. A bit like we had on... GTA doesn't do it as much, because you see online is you're playing together but you're not. For instance,
I know what you mean.
Planning the duo's next move or viewing critical story scenes from a different perspective.
That's quite cool.
There's Nino Kuno 2.
No idea.
Yeah.
No.
Far Cry 5.
Could be interesting. I never really got into Far Cry.
I played 4 once.
Oh yeah.
Sounds
interesting.
It was alright.
Was it?
Yeah, it was alright.
I saw Far Cry Primal, but
that looked
pretty cool.
It looked like a better version of Ark.
It had problems, and basically the idea behind it was it wasn't long enough to be a full game, but it was too long to be DLC. So it was like kind of in the middle somewhere, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I get you. There's the God of War.
Ooh.
which, having a look at it, looks very much like a mix between Skyrim
Have you, have, you,
and...
have you ever played God of War?
No.
God of War was a very PS2 game. They're brilliant.
Oh, okay.
Kratos taking on gods. It's great.
Well, from the adverts, it looked to me like Horizon Zero Dawn meets Skyrim.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it was out before those long ago.
Oh, yeah, it was a PS2 game.
Well, there you go.
Way back
Red
when.
Dead Redemption 2, which had the biggest hype I've seen of
Again,
most
still,
games.
I've not. Everyone knows about the first one, and I've not played it.
I played it briefly, but again, it wasn't really my
I
game.
might get slagged off for that. I've not played Red Dead Redemption.
I've never played Red Dead Redemption. There's Anthem.
Yeah, we saw that, didn't we?
That looks dope.
Yeah, I saw this. Is it CES or E3 trailer?
Yeah, it's
E3?
the E3 trailer, and it was the.
I saw the E3 trailer. That looked awesome. But then I'm thinking,
Yes, 80
like
was
Destiny?
essentially EA's answer to Destiny, a shared world
it
shooter.
looked like Destiny, but I don't know if
that
it's going to be
aims
like.
to fully immerse players in a gigantic sci-fi universe. You play as a freelancer, don't call them guardians, engaging in a third-person Mass Effect-style shootouts, armoured up in your Javelin exosuit and exploring.
It looked a bit like Iron Man.
Yeah,
meets
it's basically
Skyrim.
it's basically Warframe.
Oh, yeah.
meets betterness.
Sort of. It looked really good, but I just said it was EA.
Oh yeah, EA. Yeah, it makes
It
sense.
won't be good. It won't be good because I mean, have you seen the Battlefront 2 stuff? It's just
No.
microtransactions, all of it.
Yeah, I heard there was a big beef about the fact that like the collector's edition was like £80, and you still didn't get everything. There was still so many things you had to buy to make the game better. It was just a complete rip-off. But EA like their rip-offs. FIFA, cough FIFA. I'm
Cool,
very
boy,
beefed
you're
for
doing
that.
great.
It wasn't one of my...
No, it wasn't really one of mine either, I'll be
It never
honest.
seemed to be... Looking for all these new games for 2018, there's none that really shout that I can name that I would play and like. Because, to be honest, I'm very simple when it comes to games. I like looking at games, reviewing them, but I'm not one to... I don't know that many games, to be honest.
No.
I like my games, but I probably, don't know. I don't know.
You really don't play many games, to be fair, do you?
I don't play. I'm more of a multiplayer game man, to be honest, because
Always a campaign guy.
I'm not. I used to like campaigns, but then once I started on Xbox Live, and I was like 9 or something, because I
I was always awful on live, so I just stuck to campaigns.
Yeah, you were. No, once I hit MW3 multiplayer,
Oh, good game.
I was, loving life, because I'd get home from school, do my homework, bam.
Mate, you didn't do your homework, don't lie.
I did. I always did my homework. Never got detention. Always did my homework, made sure it was done. I was goody two shoes 101. I'm not ashamed about it. And like, I'd always make sure that I get it done when I could, and then so that I could play as much Modern Warfare 3 before having tea and then going to bed or shower or whatever I had to do before going to bed. That I could, because I've live with my schoolmates and then play some MW3 for 3 hours, 4 hours. Because it was such a good game, and after that, stories were so boring because I didn't have interaction with anyone. I always liked having interaction whilst being in a game with someone. So story modes were never something that made me shout out like.
Pretty good career mode.
I think the only it sounds really bad. The only I'd say story mode I played was Minecraft, but it's not really like back when I was 14, 15. I say probably more like 14, when I was proper into it. But yeah, but that was like the only single player game I properly played was Minecraft, because there was an aspect of because it was free roam. it wasn't like a Call of Duty campaign. You know, obviously Call of Duty's not a good example, but like where you're locked to just playing that. The GTA, I always loved playing like the GTA 5 campaign. I completed that because I didn't just have to do the campaign.
Yeah.
I play it for half hour, having fun, and then I do a mission or something. Because it wasn't. It was.
I think it needed to be a good campaign. That was the thing.
I think
if it wasn't a good campaign.
I think because I think because I play Call of Duty and I always, if I couldn't go online, I played their campaigns. It just turned me off because they're always really boring and a bit rubbish campaigns.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that sort of just turned me off, as it were, off campaigns for games. But
I feel you.
Oh yeah.
Games, what have you been playing recently?
I've literally just been playing GTA Review online. I played that War Crossout.
Oh yeah.
The mix between Robocraft.
Gaijin's new one. Yeah.
It was really, really good, to be honest. Like the game mechanics were really fun. Where Robocraft is, block.
Yeah.
Kind of spacey style game. That is, very much a dystopian type game. Bit like Mad Max. It reminded me very much of those vehicles you could build.
Yeah, I did.
Where you just, bolt on a gun.
Sorted.
And, onto this,
thrusters.
There's no thrusters. You'll be destroyed.
Nah,
there are no thrusters.
I've been distraught now.
I'm not installing the game. Never again. And obviously call it and a bit of CS:GO, the one and only OG.
Yeah, I do that.
Because that was like the first game I bought on Steam.
Was it?
Yeah, because that's when I got my computer. Ah. Well, no, I lie. The first game I bought on Steam was Besiege. Because I had that on my laptop.
Yeah.
Back when I only used to have my laptop, I would I bought Besiege for like $4.99 because I saw Big Up Jericho playing it and it looked awesome.
Yeah.
It is a really good game for like £5.
I don't know. Is it so cheap?
I will check. I'd be I mean, if it was like, £6-7. Yeah, £7.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean, even £7's really good for that kind of game, considering things like PUBG.
It's still under development, isn't it?
Yeah, well, things like PUBG is still £27.
Yeah,
it's like
when everything gets cheap, isn't it?
It's like really £27. Yeah. It's because the game went so popular, like bam, whack it up.
I've got into City Skylines.
Oh really?
I suck at it. I'm terrible.
I wanted to buy it every time it was on sale. I
start losing money and then I just charge everyone exorbitant tax rates until they leave.
I mean, isn't that what they currently do it in the current climate? I mean, even City Skylines is £23. Like
I bought it on sale. I got the deluxe, like all the DLCs, and it was $7.99.
Yeah, that's what I
want to do.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, but I'm
doing a City right now. So I'm just
hell yeah. But what was the other game? Well, Ark, for instance. Me and you bought that back when it was 1999 or whatever, when it was still in development. I think it still is in development.
I think it's still in development.
But yeah, like back when 1999, it's now like £40 or something ridiculous. Yeah, I think my mine was about £20. Yeah, it's £50. Can I just sell my copy? Like, I don't want it. It still has like there's like a 4 gig update that still needs to be done that I'm just not doing because there's no point, because I'm never gonna play it ever because my PC is lackluster.
Yeah,
there's no point. I mean, even yours computer struggles.
With that one, well, yeah, I do that.
Because even though yours is better than mine, it still struggles.
I think ours is decidedly right. It works as a console game. It actually does work as a console
Yeah,
game.
it was because they design their games for their, there's only one level of graphics a PS4 game can have.
Yeah.
Whereas PC, it all depends on you. Your computer, your stuff. So unless you're willing to spend $2,000 on a computer that can play everything.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't honestly couldn't tell you how much I've spent now. I honestly reckon it could probably be getting close to that point though.
Oh, I've £500 on my computer.
Yeah, yours was quite cheap.
Mine was cheap. I've had both my monitors for free.
Well, lucky
Birthday,
you.
and my dad got a new one, so he gave me his old LG. My keyboard was my birthday. My mouse was for Christmas. My headset was for Christmas. I bought my mic, and my PC I bought. So, £500 maximum, I reckon. My controller, Christmas present. So, and I probably could put, another £500 into it, make it a bit better.
Yeah, I put a lot of money into mine.
But at the
Sure,
same, yeah, exactly. I think I just need to clean mine out to make it at the moment it's pretty slow. I think I just need to clean out the inside, the dust, the crap, and whatnot.
Do some.
Yeah, I reckon you should do some research on some topics that you find interesting that I
know nothing about.
know nothing about. That could be.
I can teach you something.